Full stop. Before we continue on, this podcast is made for adults by adults and is strictly 18 plus. The following episode includes sexually explicit content that will be acted out in full, and you may not be ready to hear your favorite One Piece characters in such sticky situations, so I suggest you skip this one for now. Come back and hang with us when you grow up. And now, on to the show. What's up, Syrup Village sluts? You're listening to the wildest podcast, The Side of the Grand Line. Don't you hate when you see someone living the life you want to live? That should be me doing Molly with Buggy at the Queer Goth Club burlesque show. It's time for One Piece of Trash. Bum, bum, bum. Welcome to One Piece of Trash, where we make fan fiction a fan reality. I'm here in the studio with some of my favorite people ever. Say hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
A little about the project. Due to the nature of this particular fic, all the actors involved were strongly encouraged to read the script beforehand, and they still pretty much chose to go in blind, except for Mihawk. So we are lukewarm reading today, not quite a cold read. I will give little to no direction, and the actors are instructed to just have fun with it and make commentary as they please. Today, we will be reading Chapter 3 of It's Complicated, to say the least, by Ghost Script. In our last chapter, Mihawk and Shanks had a blowout in the bathroom of a bistro. Beckman bought a barkeep silence on Shanks' behalf. Mihawk bought Shanks a breakup blouse. And speaking of people I'd buy a blouse for, let's meet our crew today. Cast, why don't you say your name, your pronouns, who you're playing, and what's something that everyone loves that you hate, music edition?
Oh, man. Well, my name is Jules. I'll be playing Shanks. I'm a he, him. Music that, I guess, Baby Shark. There's something about Baby Shark that it just irritates.
You're not feeling Baby Shark?
Do.
Yeah, no, but the children in my house, the nieces and the nephews, they love it, and I can't. It hurts my brain.
I'm Willow. I use they, them pronouns. I will be playing Buggy the Clown. My music hot takes, one, Mozart is the repetitive pop music of the 1700s.
Ooh.
And two, I have the same problem with Stevie Nicks that I have with Frank Sinatra, which is that vibrato shouldn't be a half step wide.
Ooh. Oh.
Strong take. I don't. That's all. That's
Scathing.
it.
Hello, I'm Quinn. I use they, them pronouns. I'm playing a cavalcade of different pirates along with Sanji. I'm going to give you guys two options. Either a vocal technique or a band.
A band.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. Okay. Second episode, and I'm going to make enemies. I don't like Nirvana. I can hear you freaking out over there. I think they're really important, and I think they're incredibly influential, and I think their music is probably pretty good.
Well, I am James Longstreet, and I am reading Mihawk, and something that everyone loves musically that I absolutely despise, Britney fucking Spears.
Britney? Fine. I'm pissed off. Anyway.
A little toxic.
And my name is Jazzy. My name is Jazzy. I am the narrator, and I never say my pronouns, and I'm going to continue to never say them. But something musically that everybody loves that I hate, Taylor Swift. And you know what's crazy is I really liked her country era, but I do not like her pop music, especially her recent stuff. I think it's all fucking repetitive. And I think that she has quite literally downscaled what it means to be a pop star. Also, fucking Ice Spice, she's terrible. She fucking sucks. Ice Spice actually fucking sucks. I don't know why nobody can see it, but me, it's like I was cursed by some witch. Hey there, besties, it's Jazzy. I want to thank you so much for continuing to tune in to the One Piece of Trash podcast. It's been amazing. After we recorded this particular episode, I noticed that there was technical difficulties and we didn't get to fix them in studio because I didn't catch them. So I'm going to tell you right now, myself, that the role of Beckman is being played by James, and his musical hot take was that he didn't like Wicked, and he said it looked like it was filmed like a Target commercial, which I kind of agree. The role of Nami will be played by the lovely Momo, and the role of Zoro will be played by Paul. The role of Chopper will be played by Etcetera, and the role of Luffy is going to be played by myself. Continuing to speak on the technical difficulties that we experienced during this episode, my microphone is
horrible in this one, and I do apologize, besties. There's nothing you can tell me that I haven't already told myself, which is why it took so long to get this episode out. But please forgive all of the air, the popping, the plosives. I got it to a place where I was comfortable putting it out, and I still think this is a very beautiful episode, and I hope you enjoy it. On to the show.
But all right. Let's continue on. Before we start, I just wanted to give our listeners a trigger warning for dubcon, self-harm, and druggings. Also, slight spoilers, there will be mention of Alabasta, Crossguild, and Elbath. And now, without further edging, I give you chapter 3. I just met her. Chapter 3 of It's Complicated to Say the Least by Ghostscript, read by Jazzy and the Red-Haired Skanks. Chapter 3. Buggy had a hard time shutting up. He'd been told on several occasions. The real problem was that he compulsively overshared, but the momentum was hard to quell, so what came out of him was like verbal diarrhea. That's what Rayleigh had dubbed it. He'd certainly overshared with Mihawk at dinner last week, but the mention of Shanks made him nervous, so nervous that he'd felt claustrophobic in his own bed since. Often his only comfort was sitting on the dock of his ship in the middle of the night staring into the black water. This night he'd found no solace. He'd made the mistake of reminiscing. He hadn't seen or heard from Shanks since he'd gotten a ride back to his crew months ago. He knew why, even if it was unspoken. They could only handle so much of each other before Buggy would say, or do, something to sabotage the mood. It was his specialty. It always made him wonder if things could have been different if he had just swallowed his pride and joined the Red Force back in the beginning. Would they have just inevitably imploded? But everything was so mixed up then. Emotions were high. Roger had just died. Shanks was drinking more, making him unreliable and inconsistent, and Buggy started getting bouts of intense uncertainty. One day, he felt like nothing could hurt him, that he was the smartest and destined to be king of the pirates. And the next day, he had locked himself in his room crying because he felt too ugly to be seen. I feel that mood. Their sexual relationship made things more muddled. He was thinking about how it started, when they were Roger's pirates. The first time they'd kissed, they were teenagers. Full of energy they had no hope of comprehending. That fateful night, Rayleigh had passed out stone drunk. Shanks had relieved him of his half-empty bottle and came into their bunk red-faced and loud, demanding they go swimming. Their ship was anchored adjacent to a lagoon, which looked like it had a tiny waterfall and rocks to sit on. The sky was clear, so the stars would provide ample light. After guessing how far it was to reach, they stripped down to their underwear and dove in. It was a race, of course, which Buggy won no problem. He was the stronger swimmer. That makes me so sad that like so many of the devil fruit users are described as being really good swimmers, and now they literally cannot swim.
Yeah, that's rough.
Because even they said that Luffy was a really good swimmer.
How would Buggy be buoyant?
What do you mean?
Pop off everywhere.
No, but you can't use your devil fruit powers in water.
Right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it wouldn't work at all. I wonder what would happen if Buggy like popped his arm off and then it fell into the ocean. Like, would he be able to reattach it?
Or is that just like,
I would
that's just an arm
assume
now?
so, but the individual Buggy bits float, right?
Yeah.
Like in the air.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, they're like in creative mode, so they just go where they
They're in creative mode.
But if he took Buggy's head off, and threw it into the ocean, he would die.
That's how you do
Hey,
it.
shit, that sucks.
Like he would fucking die.
Somebody needs to make Buggy like a pool floaty hat.
He needs a flotation device around his neck to pull the cord of just in case.
Oh, an emergency.
They take his head off.
An emergency floating red rubber nose.
Yeah.
On brand.
Your rubber nose can be used as a flotation device. He was the stronger swimmer, which naturally wormed around in his head that somehow Shanks had lost on purpose, that he pitied him, that he thought Buggy was weak. It added fuel to the fire that Shanks was so beautiful, near naked in the moonlight, rinsing his bright hair in the curtain of water that showered down from the cliffside. How dare he be so perfect and condescending? In his newfound puberty, Buggy routinely mistook arousal for jealousy. Same. And it turned to anger. Buggy spit on the ground and called him a cheat. Shanks laughed.
How am I a cheat if I lost, Bugs?
You lost on purpose, you smug son of a bitch. I don't need your charity.
He barely remembered taking a swing. It didn't land where he was aiming. They'd tussled. Shanks was barely fighting back, just letting him wail.
Why aren't you hitting me?
Because I love you.
Well, fucking don't!
Buggy didn't even realize he was sobbing until he heard the tremble in his own voice. Shanks wiped away a tear.
You're my best friend.
That's when he saw the yellowy purple bruise starting to form around his eye, his swollen lip. Buggy broke down and kissed him to make it better, to make it all better. Shanks kissed him back, their bodies pressed together. Of course it was awkward and didn't go any further than some hand-holding and heavy makeout session. Shanks hadn't been with a man yet, and Buggy hadn't been with anyone. So they went back to swimming until they heard a very angry Rayleigh call their name. The last time they'd kissed, it was stilted. They were saying goodbye as their ships pulled up alongside each other last summer. Of course, that wasn't the whole story. He'd boarded very early in the morning after arranging for a ride the day before. Lucky him that he'd been stranded in Red Force territory. They were both tired, crawling into bed as soon as they were able. Shanks was out like a light as soon as his head hit the pillow. Buggy, not so much. There wasn't a lot of room in his bed, and it was hard as a brick. He'd finally slept for what he'd hoped was about 5 hours, but to his dismay was only about 45 minutes. Buggy was restless. He slid his hands down Shanks's underwear, stroking him until he grew firm.
Baby, wake up. I'm horny.
Good. Take it down even a little more.
Baby, wake up. I'm horny.
I like the first one better. Shanks barely stirred, even when Buggy had rolled him over onto his side to get a better angle, pulling down his underwear before his own.
Baby, wake up. I want to fuck you.
He rubbed his tip against his ass, pushing between his thighs.
Bugs, I'm hungover. Let me sleep.
Buggy pouted, using his weight to push him flat on his stomach, lining them up. Straddling his back, he leaned forward to fish around in the bedside table for his bottle of lube.
Come on, baby. Give me that ass. I was having a sexy dream about ya.
We'll go back to sleep and finish.
Buggy ignored him.
I was coming inside of you as you deep-throat that silver fox first mate of yours.
Shanks tried to squirm.
Ben? Dude, I wouldn't fuck Ben. He's basically family.
Yeah, well, you say that, but we fuck and we used to call ourselves brothers.
That was different. It was brothers in arms.
In what?
He chuckled.
Damn it. I walked right into that one. Oh, yeah. Damn it. I walked right into that one.
Jules, I want you to try that line again. Yeah. I don't want the laugh, and just play the fact that you're tired and hungover.
Okay. The damn it line?
Yeah.
Damn it. I walked right into that one.
Buggy squeezed lube onto his hand and cock and smothered some onto Shanks sloppily.
Well, whose cock do you want in your mouth? Me, Hawk?
No one's. I want to sleep. I have a headache.
Buggy pushed his face into the pillow, shutting him up, his erection moving to its target, fitting slowly into place. Buggy gasped.
You're so tight.
Shanks muffled a moan.
Buggy.
Oh, that's right, baby. Say my name. Now picture as I'm, deep inside you like this.
He thrust further until he felt the slap of his balls hitting skin.
I'm all the way inside you, and Dracula Mihawk takes you by the hair and opens your mouth and shoves his monster cock right in. Would you like that?
Fucking minus 10 HP. What's the opposite of the...
the shame gone, right?
Oh, God.
Tex Avery Wolf.
Oh, jeez. The shame Tex Avery Wolf. He pulled Shanks up to shove a pillow underneath his torso to get a better angle, fucking him deep and hard, but slow and methodic.
I heard Mihawk is huge, so you'd gag on it, and he'd come down your throat as I came in your ass, and you'd fucking love it. And then maybe we'd stretch you out and both fuck you at the same time. You've taken 2 cocks, haven't you?
Oh. Shanks had reached his hand around to take away the pillow, stroking himself to the titillation of his partner. He'd struck a sweet spot.
Everyone thinks you're such a top, but you are such a bottom. Big, mean, scary Shanks.
Where those lines are, you come. Can you say this again like you're really close?
Thank you for the interpretation that the dashes in this are me nutting.
Thank you, Ghost Script. That was very helpful.
Everyone thinks you're such a top, but you are such a bottom. Big, mean, scary, Shank.
Perfect. He came. Shanks shortly after. Buggy collapsed next to him, suddenly concerned as he brushed a tear from Shanks's eye.
Oh, hey, why are you? I love you. Are you okay?
Shanks forced a smile.
Can I sleep now? My head is killing me.
Yeah, let's cuddle.
Actually, will you go down to the galley and get a bottle of rum or something? Hair of the dog might help.
They'd slept entwined the rest of the journey, though Buggy felt like something was off. You think? He was so prone to that feeling, his paranoia. It's not paranoia this time, babe. Mm-hmm. He didn't poke at it. Weeks.
You know.
That one was going to happen.
Zing! Weeks of ignored transponder calls, and he got the gist. Shanks was too busy for him. So he left a very regrettable message about being abandoned and how they were enemies again. Wow. Buggy flip-flops so hard.
Babe, you're not answering your snail.
So we're fucking sworn enemies. Shanks was too busy for him. So he left a very regrettable message about being abandoned and how they were enemies again. At least he hadn't told Mihawk about his threesome fantasy. It wasn't about Mihawk anyway. It just had to be someone strong and stoic. Then it dawned on him. Maybe it was all about Mihawk. Those two had been hiding something. The way Mihawk used to stare and drool at Shanks back in Logtown. Maybe he had finally sunk his teeth in. Buggy didn't look at the time before he called, but as the snail rang, he noticed it was 3 a.m. and nearly hung up if it hadn't been for the sound of Mihawk's sleepy voice on the other end.
What is it, clown?
Did you and Shanks ever, hook up?
What?
Did you and the redhead knock boots?
Agitated, Mihawk clicked his tongue.
Did he tell you?
No, I love it. We're keeping it. Buggy cackled.
Oh, shit! You did! You asshole!
Click. Actually, when you hang up the snails, they go, ka-chunk. And we're switching perspective to Shanks. February was colder than usual. Shanks now 10 days sober. The crew had been forced to celebrate the New Year dry, and they were not happy about it. Neither was their captain. But he told Ben he was fine, just fine, and that he'd be better and things would be better and that things would be better like they were before. He hadn't looked in the mirror in a while on purpose, but Ben had insisted he shave because it would help him feel better, more in control, more refreshed. He did what he was told, noticing the rust-colored bags under his eyes and the hollow of his cheeks, and the last little remnants of hickeys left from Hawkeye's. Then he sat on the edge of the bathtub and wondered just what the fuck he was doing with his life. Shanks drew the razor across the fattier part of his inner thigh, hard enough to break skin, but not to do any real damage. Blood trickled down to his ankle. The sting gave him a jolt, so he did it again, an inch lower, closing his eyes to taste the discomfort without distraction. Beckman's intuition must have tingled, because he knocked on the door before Shanks could go for a third.
I'll be right out.
I love that. I love the idea that Beckman can always kind of sense when Shanks is hurting himself. Like they're that close.
Yeah. I'll be right out.
We're about to saddle up to the Going Merry.
Okay.
You good, kiddo?
Yeah, Bex, I'm good.
He didn't bother to patch himself up, just threw his trousers on over the wound. It was thick canvas, doubtful the blood would show through. He put on his best shirt, incidentally the one Mihawk had sent, buttoning it about halfway before he gave up. He tucked into his pants, managed on his belt, left his hair alone to do whatever it was doing. He hit Beckman with the door as he exited.
Oh, shit, sorry.
Ben looked him up and down.
Come here, let me tie your hair back.
Shanks rolled his eyes, turning his back to let the man gather up his tendrils into a little tail at the back, fastened with a rubber band.
There, you look better. You need help with the rest of the buttons?
Oh, fuck off, Mother. I'm a grown man.
Could have fooled me.
This man is going to take care of his son. He's just a single father trying to raise his son. Beckman couldn't have kids of his own. Their dynamic might have been strange, but you only get one life to experience what you can. Ben needed to feel needed. Sometimes it reminded Shanks of those pregnant barn cats that stillbirth and then nurse the first fuzzy thing that comes along, like a duckling. People see it and laugh, but it's not funny to the cat or to the duckling. I love that writing. Shanks took a deep breath. The two of them shared a cigarette while the crew scrambled to parallel park the fucking boat.
You're good. You're good. Back up.
You're
back
good.
Up. You're good.
You're good.
Cut it.
Does the Red Force have like ours on it? Because you can't reverse a sailboat.
You can't reverse a sailboat, but Shanks can Tokyo drift a boat.
I want to see them Akira slide a boat.
Oh my god.
Oh hell yeah!
Pike slide.
You know who could fucking do that? Frankie could do that.
Frankie could Akira slide.
Frankie could Akira slide a fucking boat.
You're gonna say
The two of them shared a cigarette while the crew scrambled to parallel park the Red Force beside the smaller ship, and Snake stayed behind, happy for the peace and quiet to continue a poker game. But Lime Juice, Hongo, Yassop, Rockstar, and Rue were lined up in anticipation. Quinn! Damn it!
Oh, Jesus.
You just make me feel that way, baby. Lime Juice is from Huntington Beach, and he's a surfer. Hongo is from Portland, and he's a hipster who has an organic coffee shop.
Yeah, that's not...
Rockstar is a punk from the Bay.
You went in this not going to be from California?
No! Well, yeah. Hongo's from Portland.
Oh, right.
But all of these personalities, I am going off of the way that this fanfic author draws them in their fan art.
They have fan art?
They make Ghost Script is Rodent Dangerfield on TikTok, if you didn't know, listeners. And they make gorgeous art that goes with the fanfics that you can look at and read along, which is great because they write things that are very dark. So going to the TikTok and seeing, Shanks and Beckman and Lime and Hongo and Yassop and like Makino, like live in a world and like just be in the office and like have a good time. It's so refreshing, and it's actually really healing from the trauma that they put you through in the fanfic. I'm going to voice Luffy. Shanks! The two grinned genuinely, the younger running full speed towards the hug, knocking Shanks onto his back.
Hey, Anchor. You got strong.
I love that Shanks calls him Anchor. If you don't, this is a cute little tidbit. If you don't know, when Luffy is a kid and he first knows Shanks, he wears a t-shirt that says Anchor on it.
Oh.
On the anime. Like when you see that, yeah, so he calls him Anchor.
That's cute.
How fucking cute. Luffy introduced the rest of his unusual crew, gifted him a bottle. I love that in the world of One Piece, like the Straw Hat Pirates are just some fucking weird fucking guys. Luffy introduced the rest of his unusual crew, gifted him a bottle of expensive and delicious sounding sake that Beckman immediately grabbed and gave to Rue to store, and apologized that he couldn't return his hat yet as he wasn't the king of the pirates.
Yeah, I don't expect it until you are. This is just an unofficial meeting because I missed you.
Luffy smiled the whole time, and it was certainly contagious. He told stories of their travels, dueling giants, a pirate stuck in a chest, the elaborate backstories of each of his friends. That's like 800 chapters right there. His cook put Rue to shame. His cook put Rue to shame. Shanks didn't have many new stories he felt appropriate to share, but Luffy clasped excitedly about Gordo's torment, the winged terror of Rain Port. He mentioned Mihawk a little, just that they'd celebrated the news of the boy's bounty. Zoro's eyes lit up.
You're friends with that jerk-off? I vowed to beat him and take the title of greatest swordsman. It's my life's goal.
Shanks chuckled.
Friend is a stretch. He's not that bad, underneath all that stern glaring.
He scowled.
I'm gonna challenge him again, as soon as I'm ready.
Okay. Whatever you say.
The first time.
Whatever you say, I guess. Sanji rolled out a cask of rum to toast the reunion. Beckman side-eyed his captain, shaking his head.
It would be rude not to.
Shanks tried his puppy dog look to no avail.
I will throw you overboard and never look back.
Luffy, poured me some tea instead. Mother forbade me from the drink tonight.
Luffy looked confused. You aren't drinking? You? I've been bragging to Zoro about how you could drink us all under the table. Shanks sucked his teeth.
Yeah, not tonight, buddy. Rain check.
The fluffy talking reindeer had been studying him all night with concern.
Luffy, I don't think you should be pressuring anyone in his condition to...
Luffy interjected. Condition? What's wrong with you? Are you sick or something? Nami spit out her drink, smacking Luffy upside the head.
Manners!
Luffy rubbed the spot he'd been struck. I don't need manners, it's just Shanks! Sanji slinked off towards the kitchen to escape.
I'll make some tea.
Shanks laughed, petting Chopper's head. Aw.
No, it's okay. I'm not sick. I'm just not drinking tonight. I've got a lot of business in the morning and can't sleep in. That's all.
I'm sorry.
Nami apologized.
Tell me more about what Luffy was like as a baby.
Shanks told every embarrassing story about Luffy he could. The time he got a metal toy flagship stuck up his nose. The time he sleepwalked into Makino's bar and ate an entire jar of pickled eggs because he was dreaming he was a mongoose. Beckman had relaxed enough to tell some stories of his own, to the chagrin of Shanks. The story of how they'd met differed greatly from the reality, omitting circumstance and some of the more salacious aspects, thankfully. Rue convinced Sanji to share some recipes. Hongo helped Yasopp ease into conversation with Usopp, the two of them warming up and forgetting the distance once they'd had a few drinks. It was nice to be out of the watchful eye. The rest of them were taking bets on whether Yasopp could shoot a horse apple off Luffy's head blindfolded. And Yasopp uses guns. He's not like Usopp. Usopp has a slingshot, but Dad's got the firepower. Shanks climbed up to the crow's nest to get a better view of the sky. Bex had been right. The visit helped. It had also been full of temptation. He took the vial of morphine and the syringe he'd liberated from Chopper's infirmary out of his shirt pocket and held it up to the light. He wasn't going to use it, but it was comforting to know he could if he needed to. There was a hidden pocket sewn into his coat, which was where he'd hide the goods before going home. Then it would go safely into the loose floorboards under his desk. The goodbye was hard. Shanks hugged Luffy as hard as he could. Yasopp tried unsuccessfully to hide that he was crying. Usopp sobbed openly and unabashed. Shanks had made sure to hand Ben his coat before they started to head back. The old switcheroony. If you ever need to get something out safely, put it on somebody else. Shanks had made sure to hand Ben his coat before they started to head back. It was folded over his arm and he had no mind to check it. Just toss it onto the stack of crates near the swing gun so he could get... I don't know what that... Is that a boat thing? Just toss it onto the stack of crates... Just toss it onto the stack of crates near the swing gun so he could grip the rope of the ladder to cross. Lime Juice bellowed.
That girl's a ruthless monster. She's gonna charge me 300% interest for losing that bet.
Amazing. Hongo clamped his arm on the other man's shoulder, snickering.
It's a good thing we're pirates and we don't pay our debts. Right, very bad Fred Armisen.
I don't know. It's pretty good.
Fred Armisen?
It's a pretty good Fred Armisen.
Honestly?
It's Kevin, what are you doing here?
That was... Shanks was the last to leave.
Anchor, you be careful, okay? But if you need me, ever, just call.
Perspective switch to Mihawk. Oh, nobody's going to Wayne's with me? Fuck you guys.
Sorry, I didn't want to take your
thunder. Valentine's Day had never really mattered to Mihawk. He would have preferred to spend it alone with his violin concertos and shibari knot tying practice, something he'd been itching to try out, Kinbaku. But he hadn't found a partner worth the attention. No one held a candle to his favorite rival. The redhead seemed to have beaten his demons, if the News Cou's paper was correct. A front-page photo of the man, commanding yet coolly apathetic about it. A difficult mix to achieve. He looked better. Rested somewhat. Red Force had taken out an entire fleet of enemy pirate ships in Warland. He was still tracking him, so Elbaf made sense. He wanted to call, thought about calling. What would he even say? Sorry? He hadn't done anything wrong. The man should be apologizing to him. Yet every time he touched himself, he saw, every time we touch, I get this feeling. Oh, the gays are in the house today. The queers are here. Activated you like a sleeper agent.
Oh, my Nightcore alarm went off.
Yet every time he touched himself, he saw Shanks. His hair falling over his face, the smile accompanying the moans. It was torture. As of late, Buggy had become more persistent in his life, constantly inviting himself over or calling just to talk. He tried to keep the conversation away from their mutual ex-lover, though Buggy's raunchy stories of their time in Longtown had provided ample mental stimulation for his, time alone. The jealousy had warped into something worse, burning desire. His fantasies had grown darker and less consensual, like finding a fucked-out Shanks in a shitty tavern, already used up and sore, and tying him up in the cellar to punish him until it was all replaced by his scent. He wanted to mark him, overtake him. This is dangerously Omegaverse territory.
I was just about to say, I was reading something about
we're like halfway to Mpreg now. Drain him of blood. Oh!
You know?
Okay, Dracule.
Whoa.
It was so abusive in nature, he felt disgusted with himself. At the end of the day, they were just fantasies. He had morals, standards. You hear that, friends? This is a good lesson in the fact that intrusive thoughts are not your real thoughts. They're intrusive. That's the point. They're not the things that you really want to do or really want to say. It's just shit that pops in. And it's okay to control them. And having these dark thoughts doesn't make you a bad person, as long as you don't let them spill out into reality. I think that's an important thing to know.
That's
Hell
just like
yeah.
good.
Important thing to
That's
know,
important. Important thing to know, Bill.
The more you know.
The more you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Thank you. At the end of the day, they were just fantasies. He had morals, standards, actual deep-rooted affection. He was happy the man had cleaned up. He just wished things had been different when they were together. That he hadn't, as Perona would say, fumbled the bag. He should have played it cool, been fine with their situation and not wanted more. The timing was just wrong. His transponder snail trilled. Ooh, somebody be the snail. Yes, thank you. Buggy. Somehow, through relentless nagging, the clown had convinced Mihawk to third-wheel it with him and Alvida to a club for the holiday. Not just a simple evening of dance, either. Promises of burlesque and a cabaret show. Maybe he'd find a little plaything. Someone to unclog his brain rot. He learned that from Perona, too, I'm sure. Buggy referred to Shanks as the biggest STD on the Grand Line.
Holy shit.
Red brain. Worms its way into your temporal lobe and puppets your thoughts like a parasite. Buggy had surprised him again. The club was actually tasteful. Gothic decor, elaborate dress, chic and intimate. A woman smothered in pale pink ostrich feathers writhed on a small circular stage as the music and lights thrummed to a beat not unlike a racing heart. Buggy slapped him on the shoulder blade.
See, Goldie, I knew this was your kind of vibe. Now, what are you drinking?
Mihawk raised a brow. The clown was going to pay for a round once.
White wine.
White wine, coming up.
No retort either? No comment about how white wine was how he imagined a bird bath would taste like? Suspicious. Mihawk knows Buggy well enough now to know how he's going to think. Maybe Alvida was good for him. Where was Alvida anyway? Oh, never mind, he thought, seeing her up ahead, climbing up on stage next to the dancer. Since she'd eaten a devil fruit, her need for attention was incorrigible. Buggy clinked their glasses together before handing it over.
Happy VD, you fastidious queen.
Mihawk, the fastidious queen. If Mihawk had rolled his eyes any harder they'd have come out of his mouth. He took a sip of his wine, strolling into the crowd of bodies that danced and touched and wriggled along, searching the crowd for potential prey. A shock of red hair nearly gave him a heart attack, but the man turned around and broke the spell. He gulped his wine after that, immediately seeking another, and glugging that too. He felt lightheaded. The bass seemed to come from inside his ribcage, and the speed of the room seemed slightly faster. Was he dancing? 3 glasses of wine had never loosened him up so fast. He did drink them quickly, but still. A man in a masquerade mask was grinding at his hip, and it tingled in a way that defied reason. The light zipped across his vision like tiny fairies. He held up his hands, and the picture trailed behind them as he moved.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It dawned on him. The fucking clown had spiked his drink. No wonder he'd been so generous. He attempted to weave through the crowd, their faces indiscriminate from a mismatch of skin-colored confetti. Lips and eyes and hair, and where was that piece of shit he was about to be murdered? He discovered Buggy by the bathroom, necking a pink-haired man in garish sunglasses. Was that Doflamingo?
Oh my god. Dofi in the wild.
Wild Dofi appears.
I'm going to fucking kill you, Buggy.
Buggy pushed his friend away, holding Mihawk by the hands and smiling.
Oh, it must have kicked in. How do you feel? You having a good time?
This fucking asshole. Mihawk scowled.
You drugged me.
Buggy tisked.
Yeah, but it was for your own good, babe. Just relax, dance, find someone to fuck, loosen up.
He popped the P sound at the end. Can you say loosen up?
Loosen up.
Not letting go of his hands, the clown began to lead them in a waltz, his lips by Mihawk's ear.
Just enjoy the ride. Listen to the music.
He did try. For a while, he sent his inhibitions directly out the window. He danced, drank, he groped and let himself be groped. He made plans with strangers to go to some casino island in the spring. That's what being a drunk girl in the bathroom is like. Like a girl's gonna, let's go to Italy.
Let's hit Vegas.
Like, yes. And you're just like, yeah, fucking let's do it.
Oh, banned from Vegas.
Was this how Shanks felt on a night out? Slightly to the left of reality itself and so unencumbered. Alvida and Buggy left before him. No threesome? No. Alvida and Buggy left before him. He couldn't understand what they were saying, but they had a flashy dressed companion, eyes full of lust, and did the math. Oh, they're having their own threesome. He felt hot and needed water. The bathroom was cool to the touch compared to the dance floor, which made him dizzy. Suddenly he felt saturated by the breath of others. He struggled to swallow. He was having a panic attack. He tunnel-visioned his way to the exit, the briskness of the outside alerting him of how much he'd perspired. His silk shirt damp and pungent. He waved down a cab, barely recognizing his voice as he gave directions to his castle. So, Karaigana, Mihawk's Island has cabs and buses. Just so we're keeping score.
That's a lot of public transport.
That's a lot of public transport, yeah. If Shanks had been there, would he have stayed calm? Would he have been able to enjoy himself fully? Would he have had to pick him up off the floor or pried him off the arms of another? Against his better judgment, he went for a snail. Perspective switch to Shanks. Thank you. Shanks stomped the floorboard back in place. He still hadn't slipped up, but he needed to check and make sure it was still there, that his emergency stash was still safe. By all appearance, he was back to his old self, minus the after parties. They'd been hopping around so much he never had time to sit with his thoughts too long. Ben was probably to blame, or thank, for that. He was relentless in Shanks' recovery. Protein, exercise, brisk cold swims, transponder calls with Uta, often. His time spent shaving hadn't stopped. He was careful to only cut in places Beckman wouldn't see. The man had been too good to him. He owed him his life. He needed to stay above water. Shanks was on the quarterdeck, sitting on a barrel of gunpowder and sharpening his sword, Griffin. He'd been daydreaming of Makino's famous walnut banana bread, which, naturally, turned into an arousing memory of licking Makino's wet... We went from banana bread to... Okay.
Say it. Say it.
Oh, that's a...
Oh, ding. Ding.
From banana bread to licking Makino's wet pussy. Which naturally turned into an arousing memory of licking Makino's wet pussy through the fabric of her panties.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how I like it. I like it through the panties. I think I'm just like annoyingly sensitive. But anyway, where were we? Her swollen clit, pulling the cloth away slowly before plunging in his tongue and fingers. He loved her taste. She'd close her thighs tight around his head. She could snap his neck with those thighs.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody hit that bell so hard.
You hit the bell hard as a fuck. Like,
oh my god.
Damn.
Practice and precise fingers.
Oh my gosh. She could snap his neck with those thighs and he'd die a happy man. He hadn't even thought about sex since. Could it have really been since the cafe with Mihawk? The dullness of sobriety had taken a toll on his sex drive, apparently. He honestly didn't even feel like jerking off despite being hard as a rock. Is that annoying?
Just having a
I'm the only one. Like, I don't have I don't have a penis in here. So like, is that annoying to feel? Just to like have a hard on and be like, oh, I don't want to do.
I mean, it's not like, oh, this is fine. I can just live with this. It is like, you know, you have to adjust it.
Lay on your stomach or you'll just start spinning.
What?
That's how they do it.
You can tuck it till your waistband until you have to pee.
Yeah.
Or stand up.
Oh, you can tuck it in your waistband? No.
It depends on which direction you go.
I have to say, I'm not loving any of this. I'm just kind of glad that I got what I got.
Yeah. I mean, on a serious note, there's a very big difference when you're depressed between like your sex drive and your libido. Like you could be sitting in your house and be like, oh man, I really want to fuck right now, but I do not want to masturbate, and vice versa. Of like that's a I don't think a lot of people really think about that. So sometimes you don't want to fuck. Sometimes you just want to nut in the shower and feel slightly better for about 80 seconds. Be that you hit with the cold hard dick of reality.
Damn. Chat, let us know if you've ever been hit with the cold hard dick of reality. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh God, where were we at? Oh, there we are. He adjusted the position in which he was sitting and went back to his task. He thought about the morphine. He thought about substances the way your fingers find scabs. That's a really good way to describe addiction and sobriety. That's exactly what it feels like. Beckman had given him lots of books to read. They helped fill his time and his hand. He read in one of them that sobriety was the willingness to face insufferable longing. Never a sentence so true. I'm going to read that again. That's fucking damn good writing. He read in one of them that sobriety was the willingness to face insufferable longing. Never a sentence so true. Hongo had found a surgery that would release some of the tension in his stub. There was a cluster of trapped nerves which had been causing the pain. They decided to wait. That's actually one of my specialties as a medical massage therapist. They decided to wait until the following month so Shanks' strength would allow for it. He couldn't have anything stronger than ibuprofen for the aftermath. He returned Griffin to his sheath and walked barefoot down to the kitchen for some coffee and a snack. Lime Juice was at the table reading the news.
Luffy just saved Alabasta, our boy, the traveling anti-fascist champion.
I'm in love with him. Thank you. Shanks took a bite of croissant. I almost dropped my croissant. Shanks took a bite of croissant, then held up his fist.
Freedom to the people.
Little crumbs fell to his chest. He stuffed the rest of the pastry in his mouth to free up his hand to grab his coffee and the paper to the dismay of Lime Juice.
I wasn't finished!
Shanks tried to say he outranked him, but with the croissant it just sounded like... In the crew bunks, Snake was giving Yassop a tattoo with a slapdash machine, powered by a foot-pedaled battery he'd constructed, ink he'd siphoned from a giant squid. Yassop's lips were tight, trying to act tough. He'd gone for a spot on his wrist. The design was almost finished, just adding speckled lines for shading. It was a topless, large-breasted, eager-looking woman, and the banner underneath said, Bonchina. It was about as tasteful as he expected from Yassop. Do you guys know who Bonchina is?
I don't.
No.
That is Usopp's mom, and she's dead.
Ooh.
That's so fun.
Usopp's mom died when Usopp was like 6.
Oh, no. That was a false ring. False bell.
Not Usopp's dead mom with the big titties.
Dead mom.
All right. Building Snake.
Am I doing Snake too?
You're doing Snake too. Yeah, you're Oliver.
Fuck. I don't know. I don't have Snake on my list.
Choose a Metal Gear game.
Building Snake. Building Snake is just a tattoo apprentice, and he manages a Burger King.
What do you mean I have to do realistic artwork?
That's it. Go ahead, Snake. I like him.
Next, Captain.
Fuck it, why not?
He had completely forgotten the paper. It lay underneath Snake's station and a pool of spilled ink. Ben was displeased.
A tattoo. Yeah, okay. But did you have to get that?
I don't see why you're upset. I thought you'd think it was funny.
It isn't.
Well, I almost got the same half-naked lady of Yassup, was it?
Yassup.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, I almost got the same half-naked lady as Yassup, but the banner was going to read Beckman, so take that into consideration.
Ben chortled.
Yeah, that's worse.
The tattoo was a bottle of rum over the space of chest guarding his heart. The inscription in plain, bannerless letters read, "Until we meet again," as if it too was a dead wife.
Holy shit.
God damn.
They were interrupted by the sound of his snail, bada 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 bada, buried under papers and half-finished coffee mugs that were discarded when slipped from object permanence. Beckman excused himself.
Mihawk, surprised you're calling. What's up? Are you drunk?
His words were slurred and unstructured.
Went to a nightclub with Buggy?
Yes, it was actually... I can't believe I'm uttering these words. It was fun. But Shanks, I miss you.
We've all been there, Mihawk. Shanks closed his door.
I thought you were done with me.
How could I be done with you?
He whined.
I could keep my cock buried in your hole forever. I want to make you see stars.
Shanks cringed. Me too, Shanks.
Yeah.
Hardly a poetic declaration.
Mihawk, you're fucked up right now, and I think in the morning you're going to regret trying to snail sex me. It's not...
That sounds fucking nasty.
It's not even noon where I am. Maybe call me back.
Red, I need to taste you again.
Shanks wasn't sure what to say, so he went with nothing. He could hear Mihawk pacing.
Listen, I'm sorry that I got too controlling. I think we could arrange something. I mean, full disclosure, I would wife you in a heartbeat.
Wife me?
Shanks laughed.
Hawkeyes, you'd get so bored of me. You don't know what you're saying. Did Bugs give you Molly?
No. I love you. I don't care anymore about the rest. How slutty and easy you are. How do you spread yourself open for anyone? Bigger the better, probably. You love to ache.
That's so much. Shanks bit his bottom lip. He wasn't wrong.
See? Accurate Bing.
It turned him on to be manhandled, to be used, to be objectified. He hadn't thought too hard on why. The self-destructive, debaucherous part of him considered answering. He could jerk out a quick one easily, but the desperation in Mihawk's voice soured it. He had feelings for him, sure, but he had been drunk for so long he wasn't sure where to begin unraveling the depth of his feeling for anyone.
Hawk, I can't do this right now. Call me later. We can grab coffee or something.
And that is the end of Chapter 3. Final thoughts. A lot happened in this chapter.
Happened,
I really like this chapter. It's my favorite one. So.
Really?
Wordplay going.
Shanks is being sad.
The descriptions and there's stuff going on in here.
The prose is really getting it this time.
Yeah, we're moving along. We're getting to the nitty gritty of it all.
I'm just enjoying all of this fun time with good friends.
Shut up.
Yeah, a little bit of ball slapping going on.
I finally got a line.
We see it more as the chapters go on, but I love how this author does a good job of setting up Shanks' ADHD, like doing things like taking a bite of a croissant, picking up a cup of coffee, taking the newspaper from Lime Juice, getting distracted and getting a tattoo, and like leaving all that behind. Right, like that is the way that like linear progression was so subtle, because like you'd almost miss that. No. You'd almost miss that. Like Shanks actually does have like a chemical imbalance. I actually read that what ADHD is having a much lower baseline dopamine.
Yep.
So that is why so many people with ADHD seek out substances. A lot of the people I work with at my job at the rehab find out in rehab that they have ADHD or that they're bipolar or that they have BPD. They get diagnosed in rehab, and it gives so much perspective to like, you're seeking these substances for a reason.
I thought it was fun to get some drunk Mihawk.
Yeah.
It's so fun to see Mihawk drunk because Mihawk is never not put together.
The proper one. The proper one. Like.
Yeah.
Until, he's fucking me.
Right. But like even then, Mihawk is so controlled and precise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
well,
about fucking.
Buggy slipped him a Molly. But like.
Man.
So
I
we're
would
confirming that it was
That was Molly. That's what we're.
I'm assuming
that was my
Molly,
guess.
But
That was
you
my
never know,
guess.
there could be some fictional drug.
That's true.
But there's no fictional drugs here
so far.
Yeah, like
there's just straight up morphine and Molly.
Yeah, I was
and
straight up
rum.
waiting for a Motrin mention.
and they mentioned ibuprofen
they
too.
I was concerned they were going to be like, brand time.
Wait, is there a moment in this arc where like Chopper gives Shanks an Adderall prescription?
No, but I wish.
Taking suggestions.
I wish. Actually, you know what? That is one of the great things about fan fiction is that sometimes the authors are like, let me know what you want to see. And Ghostscript is one of those authors that like takes things into consideration. Shout out to Ghostscript. Shout out to the current fic they're writing called Maybe the One Piece We Need Is Therapy, which is a modern
fantastic title.
It's a modern AU that does center around Shanks. It is huge. It is fun. It is so damn good.
The One Piece's self-actualization.
All right, let's wrap this shit up. Thanks so much for listening to us. And I'm going to do an analytics shout out at the end of each episode from now on because I finally started reading our data and it's actually sort of surprising. So, shout out to the 16% of listeners who identify as male.
All right.
There's not a lot of you. That's it. There's not a lot of you out there. And if you're a bro, thanks, bro. Shout out to the 16% of listeners who identify as male. That's all we got. Sup, bros? If you identify as male, please let me know in the Spotify comments, or you can hit me up on the podcast's Instagram or TikTok. They are both called One Piece of Trash Pod on Blue Sky and One Piece of Trash Pod. OnePieceOfTrashPod.bsky.social and on Tumblr, which I'll never look at One Piece of Trash Podcast. If you are a fanfic author, I love you. Please talk to me. If you're a fanfic author and you want your work brought to life on the show, hit us up via email, onepieceoftrashpod@gmail.com. Thanks to all of our followers and fans for your support of the show. Anybody else got something to say?
Hear it for the boys.
Let's hear it for the boys. Let's give the boys a hand.
All right, 16%, right? It was 16%, boys? All right.
Fuck the police. Let's go take a cold shower.
Hell yeah.